Hello everyone, good evening. Hello everyone, good evening. Can everyone hear me? So please, okay, so um, we are going to begin in 30 seconds, okay? Alright, good evening everyone. Sorry for the disturbances, but finally we are up and running, and I hope you can see my screen very well, and the video quality and the audio quality is very nice from my end as well. So please, I need a signal if you can see my screen very well and you can hear what I'm saying. So please just send a signal, maybe text or something else. Okay. So without wasting time, let's start. So good evening and welcome to this training on Protastructure. So today is the day one of the free training that is being organized by RENT in collaboration with the Nigeria Society of Engineers, Abeokuta branch. Okay. So this is going to be the training on Protastructure. So moving on, you may be wondering who we are. Has already been done many times, but in case if you are still going on to get that. So we are a um, company, Royal Ground Engineering Trainees. We are committed to offering excellent standards, okay, and career demands. So we provide the resources and direction that enable aspiring and working engineers, including students, undergraduates, graduates, and professionals to succeed in their chosen fields. Okay, so moving on, our aim, our goal is to bridge the skill gap in the workforce by making professional trainees more and more accessible. And secondly, we aim to train you on engineering softwares in a simple to understand manner. We also train you to become a professional in using building computer aided design platforms without leaving the comfort of your home or your office. So it also help you in achieving your goal of enhancing or acquiring a new skill. So the problems that you are solving here in Royal Grad Engineering Training Strength. So you find out that many professionals who want to acquire new skills in their career face significant challenges. And one of the challenges of the problems that they face is the problem time, that is lack of time. So you find out that traditional in-person training often conflicts with work schedules. So if you are a student or you are already working, maybe you are a graduate and you want to engage yourself in some of the trainings, software trainings and all that, engineering trainings, okay, so you're going to find out that most of your time that you actually would want to give into these trainings will be conflicting with your academic schedules, thereby forcing you to start keeping lectures because you want to learn software. So that's actually a very very huge problem that we are out to tackle. Okay, so moving on, one of the problems that you may find yourself facing wanting to acquire new skills is limited access to quality training. So not all professionals have access to industry relevant practical trainings in their location, solving the challenge of time constraints, accessibility, and affordability. Okay, that is very very much self-explanatory. So our training is actually done online. That is virtual training programs. So for that reason, it helps solve the problem of accessibility. So as long as you have a device and an internet connection, you are very much through having access to these trainings. And they're actually affordable. Knowing that your trainings are online, you don't need to spend transport and all that. So it actually changes the perspective of, it's going to make it very much and more much and more affordable. Okay. So there are many many benefits with regards to having your trainings online, having your trainings and all that. Okay, so other challenges include time constraints. So we are also doing our trainings in the best time that is also comfortable for you. We schedule our trainings, with you so that you can be able to partake in that, successfully and all that. Okay, so our services, we offer card simulation services, we also offer card training services, card consulting, card modeling, building information modeling and simulation, card support services, and other card related contracts, including in-house and private trainings. Okay, okay. So moving on, this is right into our software Protastructure and start making use of that and start learning immediately. Okay, so our trainings, we have visual trainings, we have private trainings, corporate trainings, and all that. If you watched our previous videos, um, our pre-recorded video leading to this class, you are going to find out a lot about us. We have actually talked about many things. Okay, so our trainings, our about me. My name is Msude Kenneth Kingsley. I'm a training instructor in Rent for Protastructure. I have years of experience as a structural engineer and a, and an instructor. Okay, so Protastructure for reinforced concrete and steel structures. So Protastructure is actually a software that is used by structural engineers basically for building systems. You understand? So your buildings, your bridges, your pedestrian bridges, and all that. That is basically for structural engineers. Okay. So moving on, we have here different projects that have been done with Protastructure. I've seen this before. If we actually watch the pre-recorded videos, building design, we have, okay, sorry, we have here a building, three-story building on rust, beam rust foundation. We have our steel structures here, bridge design, and here we have a model that has been done using finite element analysis. That is actually a beam slab foundation, beam raft, slab of the beam raft foundation. You understand analysis, okay? So moving on, here we have a structural design of part building and cover design and all that. So careers you can follow as a professional. when you have now mastered this building information modeling, okay, structural engineer, CAD designer, detailer, structural designer, and construction professional. Industry where these skills can be applied here in the construction industry, engineering industry, architecture, and of course development. Okay, so moving on today, which is the day one of our training here in Rent. Okay, so first of all, our Protastructure for curriculum. Okay, so during the course of this training, we have the first day, second day, and the third day. Okay, so this is what we are going to be covering. We are going to start with familiarizing ourselves with this software called Protastructure. Then we are going to move on to the building modeling and loading, analysis and design. Then the substructure, detailings and reports. So we are going to be covering at least 80% of what we have here. So without wasting much of our time, okay, so let's structure. So this is the interface. This is the interface. This is what the Protastructure software looks like. When you simply open your software, this is what you are going to see. Okay, so we have the this environment. Okay, so this place is where we have your. Okay, let me draw a rectangle. So this region is basically where you get the project that you have actually worked as well. So if there's any project that you have been working on and that you have been recently been working on, this is where you go. Here we have this option here. It's simply the details on the license about your software. This is where you find out your user identity, subscription, um, details, and all that. So at the top, this is not this category or this section is not that bad. When you have not much important, you only have to concentrate on this interface when you just open the software. So moving on, let us now open software and start creating something effective immediately. Okay, so we are going to open a new project and here new project. Then project code, you are going to get this option that allows you to input. So the project code is important. So let's just input a name. So for this, I will just say training, rota training. Okay, okay, rota structure training. Then we the template here, which are simply the project code. So this project code that actually code. So this project code that actually codes that are used for design of structures or structures around the world. Okay, so these design codes are actually a set of rules or regulations or guidelines or even standards that help in outlining the requirements and best practices for any structure or any kinds of structure as well. Okay, so but the code that we actually use in Nigeria is the EU design of structures. Okay, so if you are in Malaysia, you have to use this code that says Malaysia, and if you are in Brazil or any part of the world, so Protastructure actually have different codes that are stated here that can be suitable for your location or region. Okay, so we are going to use the United Kingdom Euro code here. Have the option to change it inside the software, but for the start, we formally used the British standard. That is the BS code, but it became obsolete in 2010. So we don't use that anymore. You can only find buildings designed with BS code um, um, for old buildings. So new buildings are currently designed with the United Kingdom Euro code. Okay, so just click on OK so that we can now have our software um, opened. So I want to assume everyone is seeing my screen. I want to also assume everyone is hearing what I'm saying very clearly. Okay. So, but if you cannot follow, if you are not following, just if you are following, simply um send something on the chat box so that we can know that you are hearing or that you can see us. Okay, thank you very much. So moving on, this is the interface. This is the Protastructure interface. When you open the software, when you have opened the project, this is what you are going to see. So this interface or this environment is actually very simple. I know for new users or something like that, you are going to be finding this interface very confusing and tedious and all that. Okay, but it's very simple. So here we have our modeling screen. So this region here is where we have our modeling screen. So this is where we do anything that is related to our design. And here we have this that looks like a graph to most of our modeling. Okay, so by the left side of things, okay, actually you can actually zoom in or zoom out with your mouse wheel button. Just zoom in, just scroll that. You can now find out how it works. Okay, so by the left side of your screen we have this here three. So this so excuse me. So by the left side of our screen, we have your structure tree right here. So this structure tree is basically where everything that you have actually modeled in Protastructure. This is where you can easily find that. Assuming you are modeling for a very big building, or let me say a big structure. Okay, so your members, each and every one of your members are going to be reporting themselves to their respective folders in the structure tree. So here we have the axis folder, we have the stories folder, story 0 and story 1, we have the columns, share was and all that. So by default you get this story, what you basically get by default. You still have the option to add additional stories, which we are also going to be covering. So here at the top of your screen we have your ribbons, that is your menu bar. Okay, all this is where you have your ribbons and your menu bar. So you have this option for your as your building setups, and your ribbons are actually you know arranged in such a way in the same procedure that you actually use for your design. So first of all, you have the building setup tab, then you have the modeling, then you load your structure, you review them, then run analysis, then design drawings and reports. Then you have these three other tabs for your BIM tab, display and views tab. Then we have of course your help center. Then in your modeling tab, this is basically where you find all your modeling elements and your modeling tools. All the tools that you are going to be using to model your building. Remember, I said in the pre-recorded video that Protastructure is actually okay. So it's not like Start Pro and the rest where you have to use line elements to try and conjure something out. So we have an actual column here, we have an actual beam and actual walls. So it's actually a building information modeling software. So it goes a long way to make. So without any further ado, let us start modeling something immediately, so that you can start getting familiar with what we have. Okay. To so the first thing that is on our agenda is the axis. So we are going to discuss about axis creation, properties, modification, and orthogonal axis generators. Okay. So okay, thank you. Um, please, if you are following, please just drop a track our progress and know everyone is hearing us. Okay, thank you very much. So, for grid and orthogonal axis generators. So, grid creation or axis creation is actually the first step during modeling. So, we have this first option that says grid, and we have the other option that says orthogonal axis generator. You can use anyone discussing about the two of them. While using this first insertion method. Okay, it's just like using the line 2 in AutoCAD. So to do that, what you can simply do is just once you have selected that and you have this properties dialog active, just simply click on a place, click on your first point of insertion, and then click on the second point of insertion. When you have done that, is axis, and you are going to notice the label it aligns well with what we have here. You can change the label if you want. So let me use B for instance. I can change it, then I can now say update. So it's now going to update automatically to B. You can use numbers if you want. So I choose to use 1 and then say update. The same thing apply your first point of insertion. For your first point of insertion, now to make it straight, just hold down on your control key to make the line aligned to the vertical. Click at your second point of insertion, and then you are going to get your vertical axis rather. And here you can see the angle of inclination to the horizontal. It says 90 degree. That is because it's actually a vertical axis. Okay. So moving on. Okay, this is actually blurred out. Let's take the properties and let's know why. Visible in corner. So make sure you check that so that it can be visible. Okay. So we have now successfully created this dialog. We have this option that says extension length and then the dir properties. So now just bear in mind that every axis have a direction property. So horizontal or at the horizontal are automatically set to the direction 1 axis, and axes that are closer to the vertical or at the vertical are automatically set as direction 2 axis. So it's actually a tool or a function that Protastructure uses to arrange the different axes. Okay, it actually helps in analysis, by the way. So okay, moving on, you can draw a diagonal axis insertion, an axis with an actual length. Now to define that length, you are going to get this option that allows you to impute an axis length. Okay, I want to assume that you are all still okay. So let's do this again. So click on your first point of insertion, then you will get this elastic option. Then simply type Shift plus F2 key on your keyboard, or simply say F2 key, and then you're going to get this option that actually allows you to impute an axis length. Okay, so I'll assume 2000 millimeters, or let me say 3000 millimeters, or rather let me say 15,000 millimeters as our axis length. When I've done that, simply say enter. So then now position it in the direction that you want. Press shift, hold down your control key to make sure it's straight, and then click. So you are going to notice that we have now actually created an axis with the length 15,000 millimeters and then an angle of 0. So if you want to create a diagonal axis with a defined angle, you can still follow the same step. Click on your first point of insertion, then press F2 key on your keyboard, impute the axis length 1000 millimeters, and then press tab. Before you press enter, just press tab to shift the angle insertion. Okay, so in this case I'll just say 30 degrees and then say enter. So when I have now successfully done that, you get okay. So it's actually self explanatory. Okay, you can actually understand that. Okay, So that's fine. Okay, moving on, we are now going to create a multi-segment axis. Okay, so to do that, let's just use this option that says multi-segment axis insertion method. Okay, so this method actually allows you to create an axis, um of different shape, or maybe um allows you to create a multi-segment axis. That is, if you want to create a bent or a rectangular or square axis, you can actually, so simply click on your first point of insertion and then specify your second point of insertion, and then you can continue clicking anywhere else that you want, just like we are doing. Okay, so you can do something like this, and you can close that if you want. Then if you want to stop, if you want to press escape key on your keyboard, and then your previous points of placement can be cancelled, just like so. Then you can continue placing it anywhere you want, and then when you want to end placement, simply right click on your mouse, and then you're going to have something that looks like this. Okay, so this is simply a multi-segment axis. So you can notice the angle is actually uses an average angle and all that. So Protastructure is going to find the best angle to input, and then the direction property is going to assign to that particular axis. Okay, so now let's now create a curved axis. Okay, so to create a curved axis, simply click on the curved curved axis insertion option that we have here, and then click on a second point of insertion. Okay, then when you have done that, you are going to get this ribbon that allows you to now click at a third point and then form the arc. So when I've done that, you're going to get something like this. Okay, so this is actually our curved axis. Okay, so we can also create curved axis with some specified radius of curvature. Okay, that is, I mean, distance from the epicenter of that axis to the center, that is distance from the epicenter of the axis to the center of the axis. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so now to do that, what you can simply do is just make sure your curved axis insertion option checked, then click on it, then you can now press option. Okay, so to do that, first of all, let us delete this axis. So it is important to note this option when we have no axis created in the model. Okay, this orthogonal generator or orthogonal axis generator option. So this orthogonal axis generator option is actually used to build a system or a group of axes quickly by specifying the axis and the number of axes that you want. Over here you have your modeling tab, axis generator. So when you click that, you're going to get a properties dialog